Alright, g'day guys. Now before this video starts, can I just say, can you please subscribe? We're trying to hit 9,000 subscribers and I think we're under 50 away. So if you just spend 2 seconds, you've seen the video, hit subscribe. Thank you very much. Alright, g'day guys, Matt Preston Built Cruisers. Welcome back to another video. Now, this video is a bit dramatic, but also not really. I'm seriously considering selling this car and for good reason. So let me tell you why. Alright, so basically, if you haven't been following the channel, this is your very first video you've ever watched. This Prado has made the channel, and I've had it for over 7 years, which is quite cool, I guess, in one sense. You know, we're getting on to almost that decade point. And this is a 1996 5EZ FE, which is the 3.4 litre petrol. Now, love it to bits. It's got had a lot of highs and lows in it, and a lot of you may know that as well with lower ball joint failure. I did an engine swap in this very early on, after having it for half a year, and obviously paint job, and now the way it looks today, which is a bit more unique, one of a kind in Australia, which is really cool, and I'm super happy for it. But as we also know, it has also got almost every single model note you can get within reason. So there's not much more I can really do to it, as you guys also know. And you guys may remember the last sort of mod we did was the tyre carrier in the back, which we can obviously take off and put that on the 60 series build. But this is sort of maxed out in my mind because it's so old and a little bit brittle. I don't think it's worth putting a V8 in here or anything, and I don't think it's worth doing a solid axle swap. So you count those two things out, you know, we've already got the bar, the winch, the tent, you know, it's got sort of everything it needs. For a sort of budget build, I still like to call it in that sort of category. But yeah, so there's some of the reasons why it's a good reason to sell, because it's sort of at the maximum point. There's not much more I can do to it. Whereas, as you guys know, the 120 series Prado, Paul's Prado, which we've been working on recently, we've, you know, that car's pretty much stock. So there's we can do everything from square one, which is really exciting. Whereas this, as you can see, is sort of at the end of that journey. But yeah, also at the end of the day, this channel is meant to be a bit more of a you know, DIY mods channel. That's probably what I'm most passionate about over the actual sort of camping and touring. Actually, I got to say the camping is right up there as well. But I think I do enjoy the sort of the modding side of it a little bit more. And that also being sort of the root of the channel. And this is, you know, fully modded in a sense, then, you know, obviously that doesn't really, I can't really do anything with it. But don't get me wrong, like I've said previously, I do plan on keeping this car probably just for a little bit longer until the 60 series is done. And that is also getting painted, by the way, and that is a big journey in itself. If you've ever painted a car, you'll know exactly how difficult and how much time it takes. And, you know, trying to save a bit of money as well, obviously, compared to paying like 10 grand plus, you know, through a paint booth and all the professional guys. But yeah, this car is definitely getting close to my ownership with it, and I could probably confidently say this time next year I definitely won't be having it here. But yeah, I know a lot of you guys will be quite sad to see it go, because it is the backbone of the channel and also the brand in a sense. But Built Cruisers, we always knew that at some point we're gonna have to sort of move on from it and go to that sort of next big car, because, you know, obviously like people like Sam Miles with like the big S4 Patrol, that's a bit more of an expensive car to start with. And, you know, you can sort of see why he's sort of kept that and kept going with that. Whereas this car, in one sense, unfortunately, because it is just a petrol Prado at the end of the day, you know, a stock version of this isn't worth that much money. So I don't personally think it has the same sort of value over time. All right, so all the sad news aside, and you're probably thinking, Matt, that's great that you want to sell the car and stuff, sort of fair enough for your reasons, but what are you going to get instead? And that's when you guys come in. So you guys may remember or may not, but about 2 weeks ago, I borrowed a friend's Y62 Patrol. Now that was like, had 35-inch tires, it was so quick, it was like the best thing ever. Sunroof, you know, electric seats, all this sort of fancy stuff that I wasn't used to. And I gotta say, I really enjoyed it. And which I didn't think I would, because, you know, I'm sort of used to the older Toyotas, but it was really flash and fancy. Now, obviously those can cost up to, you know, 150 grand. So depends which one you get. But I've been thinking of buying potentially either late this year or early next year, either an older Y62 to do a build on, or a 200 series Land Cruiser. So let me know what you think, pretty exciting. And I just thought I'd show up my phone right here and just show you some ones that I'm looking at. And then you guys can roast me down below if you think they're not gonna be a good buy, or if you think, Matt, you're onto something. So if we just have a quick dive through here, I'm just gonna show you this one straight away. Now this is an SA, and this is 2008 model, so this is the pre-facelift if you have a 200 series at home. And you can see here, silver snorkel ARB bar. Now remember, we kind of don't really care what mods are on it because I'm probably just going to take them off and get different stuff anyways. So it can be stock if we want it to. And you can see here, it's got all this sort of stuff on it here. And basically, this is a good idea of a car to buy. Now, the catch with this is obviously it's quite old, you know, 2008, it's technically almost 20 years old. And this wouldn't scare you guys. So it's got 417,000 kilometers, but it's had a new motor put in by previous owner around 130. So it's got roughly 290,000 Ks on the motor, and all the turbos have been replaced and all the engine work's been done. So the way I see it, it's under 300,000 Ks. Looks quite stock and clean. I wouldn't say, I wouldn't like to think it's done that much off-roading. It's probably a bit more like a tourer. And yeah, new turbos under 50,000 Ks. So 25K firm. Now, say what you want, but this car sold within 24 hours. So I think this was a pretty hot off the press buy. And you can see he's got heaps of paperwork and stuff to prove it. So if I just go back to the front, you get a rough idea. And like I said before, sell pretty much everything on it. And I'd love to do a face swap on it as well with the newer 200 series front end. But this is also a diesel, which is very important because you guys will know if that was a petrol, maybe fair enough for the price, but it is a diesel automatic. So let me know what you think of that. I thought that was a really good deal, and hopefully you guys can also see why that kind of excited me a bit, because I don't have to spend 50 to 80K to get a nice, really crazy 200. I'll just buy one a bit more on the lower end and then modify it slowly. Okay guys, if you thought that last one was dodgy, wait till you see this one. So 2008, as you can see, it's like the nice sort of dark graphite, charcoal color, whatever it's called. Don't really care. It's got a lot of stuff done to it, but it's a petrol. So let's run through the stats. So, and obviously you can also see that it looks quite nice. And it's got this lift kit on it, supposedly, but it should have it. So yeah, 3-inch lift, Superior Engineering, 7.2K, which I thought was pretty cool. And it's also got this $11,000 supercharger. So thought that was pretty cool that you can get all that stuff. And then this is up for 35K in Queensland. So this is a supercharged 200 series, and this has 425,000 Ks. So for differences here, it's petrol and it's got way more Ks, and it's not in Adelaide either. All right, so for reference, supercharger has 65,000 Ks on it. Full pacemaker, King Brown exhaust system and extractors. The lift, like I said, it's on 33s and runner rack backbone roof rack, which is, like I said before, doesn't really, I don't mind too much about a lot of those mods, but I think the big 3-inch lift and the supercharger were obviously pretty cool, and they're quite expensive. So I do appreciate that. 12-volt wiring and stuff, but I don't really care about that. So obviously, you know, 425,000 Ks, is the motor about to blow up? You tell me. But I thought that was also pretty cool, and 35K, it's a fair bit more than the last diesel one, which was in SA as well, where I am, and it's 10K cheaper. But with the 3-inch lift and the big supercharger on it, 251 horsepower, I thought that was pretty cool. But you got to remember, which is crazy, is that the Y62s come factory with like 450 or something. Don't quote me on that, but they come with a lot more horsepower without the supercharger. So you are paying a lot of money to get that extra horsepower in the 200. Alrighty, now the Y62 Patrol. Now these cars, remember, are on Facebook Marketplace, and obviously the market changes all the time, but just to give you a rough gauge of where the pricing is, and obviously not to mention the Y63 will come out kind of soonish in the next year or so. But you can see the prices here are already a bit higher. Like the cheapest 200s you can get, petrol or diesel, as you've seen, like 25K. I mean, that's probably a push. This is 35, and it's already had $5 grand knockoff. So this is in Maya Bridge, whereas I'm in SA. So this is like, you know, cars are a little bit more expensive in SA than any other states, give or take, just because our population is a bit smaller. But you go on here, 2013, this one's got a rooftop tent, and it's also got awning and a nice little fridge and drawers. So pretty basic. No lift, no big tyres, stock, and as you can probably see here, a big dent in that door. Luckily, it looks like it's just the door, so you could literally just swap that out. Oh, and a dark awning, which is pretty cool. But like I said before, mods aren't important. But if we just have a quick look at the kilometers, oh, there you go, sorry. It's also got a GME UHF, dual battery setup, 240 amp battery. Okay, I'll take it back. It's got a pretty serious 12-volt setup, which is really nice. 270,000 Ks. So Obviously, if we compare that to, you know, obviously the petrol 200 series we just looked at, you know, that's almost half. And here we go, 420 horsepower stock. So with no supercharger, we're already putting out 420 horsepower, and which I can confirm after driving my mate's Patrol, you'd notice it. It's very, very nice. And he had 35s. This is stock wheels, so feel even quicker. Automatic petrol 420, we all know that stuff already. And basically 35k. Now that's for a 2013, and I could be slightly wrong, but that's definitely one of the earlier models of the Patrol, the Y62. And as you can see, those prices aren't sort of as low as the 200 series. Now, I guess my decision is, do I want to get a diesel or a petrol? So yeah, hopefully that makes a little bit of sense, but the biggest decision, like I said before, is diesel or petrol. And obviously I think I'd like to get a diesel, just because they sort of tow a bit better and, you know, a bit more fuel range, but also diesel is getting faded out in a sense, and 10 years from now, like almost, you know, most of them are going to be petrol realistically, because yeah, they want to fade that out, old fossil fuel. But I've got a decision to make pretty much. So yeah, if you guys, you know, own a Y62, own a 200 series, please let me know what you think, because I was kind of leaning to Y62, but the price is so much more, and I don't want to spend heaps of money in a sense, but obviously, you know, don't want to not spend anything and get something crap. This car made a poor decision, and I bought it really low, and it's because it had major engine issues, and that was a mistake at the time. So I don't want to do that again with another car. Luckily, the 60 series, as you guys have seen, has actually been a good purchase from what we can see. There's like no rust in it, and it's fine. So hopefully that's you know, still gonna run good for us. But do I buy a 200 series or Y62? Or do you guys want to see a ute build, something different? I've never owned a ute in my life. I think they're really practical and great with a big canopy. But I just love wagons, I really do. So chop 200, maybe that's what I do. One of the main reasons I've sort of been deciding to sort of get, you know, a bit more of a, not expensive, because full drives are really expensive these days, but to me expensive, being a bit more of a 200 series Y62, is for a few reasons. I thought I'd just list them so you understand the reasons. This fading out, the 60 series will be more of an ultimate tourer, all the gear, sort of you get in there, drive slow, drive to wherever you want, camp anywhere in Australia, loving it, right? That's really cool. But I want a car that's still a full drive, but is quicker, ideally V8, automatic, and has a little bit more luxury. And it doesn't need to be a sunroof, but even just having nice aircon, bigger, nice seats, that sort of stuff. That's what I really want. Whereas obviously the Prado has some of those features, but it's 1996, so it's just really old. And obviously the 60 series is 1989. So yeah, I haven't really got those options right now. And I think it makes sense because the Prado, the 60 is gonna be doing everything this can do, but slightly better. Yeah, so basically I don't need two cars like the Prado and the 60 because they're doing the same thing. Whereas it'd be really nice to have a car that's a bit more luxury, a bit more fancy. And yeah, we're not talking 100 grand fancy, I'm talking like 30k fancy, which to me is gonna feel very fancy. And just a car that I can know I can drive anywhere, and it'll just be a clean example of the full drive and really nice. And another little thing for me, which is quite actually important as well, is, you know, say what you want, but this can only tow 2.5 ton and it hasn't got much power. 60 series 2H, you know, it's even slower really until we sort of get a turbo going. But as we know, big rear end overhang, and that's not great for towing. If you know anything about towing, you'll know that having a big overhang is really bad and your steering gets really light. So the 60 is also not an ideal massive tower. Now, I've been really thinking of, you know, potentially towing a caravan and that sort of stuff. And it'd be nice to have a car that had sort of the power, and not to mention the towing power, that can do that. And as you can see, that instantly perfectly aligns the sort of 200 series Y62, you know, maybe a N80 Hilux, I don't know, something that's just a bit more modern, more power. And also I personally, probably like everyone else as well, really want to own a V8 because I just think they're awesome. So yeah, I'm really excited, and I think it's possible to get a 200 series this year if I really want to. But unfortunately this car will have to go. But yeah, so the main reasons of getting sort of a different car and a bit more of an expensive car in one sense is for towing and luxury sort of, which sounds bad, but sort of luxury slash modernness, because yeah, I'm in cars that are so old. And then yeah, just a nice reliable car as well, because you could say, Matt, you know, why don't you just buy like a Corolla run around car? But like I said before, still want to be able to take it off road, still want to be able to tour in it. And the setup will be quite basic. It won't be like the 60 series, which will have everything. It will be almost pretty much no drawers in the back, like quite basic. Just a bit more of a tow monster. But still want to do like cool bull bar, maybe big tires and stuff, make it look sick. So let me know what you guys think, because I'll be very excited to start a new build. All right guys, well let me know what you think. Maybe you think I've lost my mind and I should stick to really old Toyotas for the channel. Or maybe like, you know what, Matt, buy a GQ. Doesn't really matter. But I just personally, like I said before, think I need a car that's got more power, better towing, more luxury. And the only cars that sort of fit that category that are still full drive, you know, are your sort of 200s. And my budget's probably realistically under 40K. I haven't really set a budget, but I don't want to be spending like 80K, for example, on a full drive. So it'd be a matter of selling this and using some of that money to help out. But like I said before, the 60 series will be staying around for a long time. And like I said as well, is I've done all the mods in this car. I've done everything. So there's just not much more content that's even on this thing. But I'm still going to be taking it out camping all of this year, which I'm still really looking forward to. But yeah, that's basically it. If you guys have any other cars I've sort of missed, or you think I'm missing out on, like maybe it's a Series 4 Patrol, you know, maybe it's a 105 Series Land Cruiser, let me know, because I kind of want to know my options here. But like I said before, I kind of wanted something a little bit more modern, so that's why those two kind of get ruled out. And I wanted a V8, which the 105 does have, but you know, I want a diesel maybe, you know, or maybe I want a petrol. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. This is the video for this week. It's kind of serious though, because this car will be up for sale shortly, so don't be kind of surprised in a sense, but I do miss this thing a lot, and I still think these cars, bang for buck, can't go wrong. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Please subscribe. We're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers, and we're getting very close, which is very exciting. I never thought this day would come. But yeah, I think we're about to hit 9,000, which is very, very awesome. Thank you so much, guys. If you've ever watched the channel, I really appreciate it. And there'll be more rig rundowns coming, because I think you guys like them. I enjoy filming them and meeting some different people and seeing what cars they have in their setups. So yeah, if you guys do like the rig rundowns, please let me know as well, because then I'll still do more of them. So yeah, we'll keep the 60 series going in the background. When the paint's done, you guys will see that video. But there are a lot of mods stacking up in the background waiting to go on the 60. So the 60 series will be no videos, and then just heaps of videos at once. So maybe looking forward to that, we'll see. But yeah, if you guys want some merch, let me know. Built Cruisers shirts, you can buy them. And yeah, till then, I'll catch you guys next time on Built Cruisers.